Your safety. Go ahead, it'll be good. It'll be good.
This song, yeah, we know it's on the social. This one playing for you if you want to be background. Oh. Okay, right. Hi, good evening, everyone. We will begin tonight's event with a safety briefing from the Hyatt Regency Trinidad.
To the Hyatt Regency Trinidad. Your safety and well-being during your time with us is our first main priority. Therefore, it is essential, necessary, that you are familiar with our emergency evacuation procedures. Should it become necessary to evacuate the hotel, a continuous siren will sound, followed by audible instruction to evacuate the building. When you hear, "May I have your attention, please?" over the public announcement system, you should proceed orderly to the exit closest to you and make your way to the muster point. Proceeding east along the waterfront towards the western end of the Femme du Chalet, better known as the Breakfast Shed. In the event of an earthquake, do not run out of the building. Stay calm, drop, cover, and hold on. If the evacuation is required, please listen for instructions via the hotel's PA system for the earthquake evacuation route and muster point. Associates from Hyatt will assist you in evacuating. Once outside, conduct a head count for your group to ensure that everyone is accounted for. Should you believe someone is missing, notify the Hyatt associate in your area. Do not return to the building for any reason until the fire service has stated it is safe to do so. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic policy, we kindly ask that you wear your mask in all public areas of the hotel. Make sure to wash your hands and maintain social distancing of 6 feet. Thank you, be safe, and have an enjoyable time with us.
Okay, we will now welcome Mr. Brian Mangru, who will be doing a classical Indian dance. This dance item is an East Indian semi-classical dance that shows true playful love between two hearts shared as one. Mr. Brian Mangru.
I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it मोहे रंग गुलाल देखो देखो तुझको मैं होके निहाल देखो देखो तुझको मैं होके निहाल झूलो कोरा मोरा कांच सा तन नैन भर क्या रंग निहार मोहे रंग दो लाल नंद के लाल लाल छेड़ो नाही बस रंग दो लाल मोहे रंग दो मरोड़ी कलाई मोरी मरोड़ी कलाई मोरी हाँ कलाई मोरी हाँ कलाई मरोड़ी कलाई मोरी चूड़ी चटकाई इतराई तो चोरी से गरवा लगाई हरी चुनरिया जो झटके से छीनी हरिये चुनरिया जो झटके से छीनी मैं तो रंग हरे हरे के रंग लाज से गुलाबी गाल मोहे रंग दो लाल नंद के लाल लाल छेड़ो नहीं बस रंग दो लाल मोहे रंग दो मोहे रंग दो
We would now like to welcome co-chair of PrideTT, Mr. Rudy Hanamji, to deliver opening remarks.
But we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to PrideTT's 5th anniversary media launch. Aren't you all excited about that? 5 years. Do I look any older? 4 years ago, when many of you all started with us on this journey, little could we dream of where we would be today. I remember when I first started in activism in Trinidad and Tobago when I was 15, 16 years old. Back then, the names of persons like Cyrus Sylvester, Eswick Padmore, Danny James, Faye Ferdinandus, Sharon Motley were some of the known activists in the field, and the struggles that they faced to access resources, to bring the community together, and to be visible were insurmountable at times. But they endured. And when Jason brought his case against the state, we all came together in a show of grand unity like had never been seen before in Trinidad and Tobago. And there were many varying points of view around that action. But one thing was certain, that it was a moment in time when we had to make a decision as a community whether we would truly stand together or sit back and allow others to continue to do the work for us. And after many sleepless nights of mobilization by many of us, you all saw what happened outside that courtroom in Parliament that year. And when we all returned after the court to Kaiso House, there was this immediate depression that set in, because it dawned on us that we really didn't know how to answer the question of, well, what now? And I will never forget that in the din and chatter, Sharon Motley screamed out, and for those of you all who know her, I'm not going to do her accent justice, but all you know what I always wanted? A pride parade in Trinidad. And in that moment, a spark was ignited. Colin had asked me to come back to the advocacy world after a hiatus to assist with the mobilization efforts. And even I myself thought I would enter for a brief moment and then return to my regularly scheduled programming. But when Sharon announced that dream of hers, it reminded me of something that I had tried to do called the Gay Caucus some years before. As a matter of fact, it's documented on my Facebook page, where I invited Josh Ryan and a few other friends to my home, and we had a discussion about how we could actually create a series of events. We didn't call it Pride back then, but a different type of gay scene in Trinidad and Tobago to really showcase our community, our leaders, and our upcoming stars. It didn't really take off, but when I was reminded of that meeting, I immediately decided that I had to continue to commit to this work that we had started. And with the support of about 30 stakeholders that year, and just as many people in a committee, we were able to hold the very first PrideTT celebrations in Trinidad and Tobago. It took a lot of effort, it took a lot of trust, and it took a lot of sacrifice. The main critical success factor was the simple fact that no matter whom we turned to, everyone said yes. That was all it took, a yes. Some persons assisted by giving of their art, just as Brian just did. Others gave of their time, their resources, their skills. And that is how PrideTT was able to grow and to sustain itself for 5 years. But you know, we've lost some of those people along the way. I mean, we've had the memorials, you know the names, I'm sure. But I really have to stand here and thank Anthony Medina in particular. Because when even some people within the community said that this would never happen, he said to me, I know you can do it, and we'll all help. And that's exactly what we did. And now our Pride is a model for others around the world, in the region. Our Pride has been able to create visibility in a space and a time when people thought it would not be possible. I remember Hayden, he was supposed to be here tonight. I remember Hayden crying on my shoulder on that music truck when we left the parade grounds that first year. That was the history that all of you all helped to make, and that's why we invited you back for this launch, to mark a milestone. It's not easy to sustain something for even 2 years, far less 5 years, but we've been able to do it. But I would be very selfish in my thinking if I believed that leadership resides only in myself. I found myself in a space and time where I had certain privileges and resources that I could call upon. And I believe that over the last few years, I have done my best to create succession planning and an environment where even if I am not as present as I used to be, you all, the supporters of this organization and its efforts, will continue to support those who take up the mantle. I signaled last year that this would be my last year as the chair of this organization. And it's bittersweet because when you help to build something, you have a certain perspective, a vision of where it should go. But at the same time, I have to call upon my corporate training that you must have the ability to allow space for others and trust that things can go in that direction, in a new direction, in your direction. Over the last few years, we have made a concerted effort year after year to include almost everybody to the point where the organizing committee will pull their hair out and say, why are you adding something else to the calendar? We have traveled as far as San Fernando and Tobago to try and create subgroups. We have used the monies and resources to fund other groups' activities. So the best way I thought I could say goodbye was to use whatever resources I had this year to help relaunch Pride coming out of COVID and to work with the team to host the conference that we had earlier this morning that some of you all heard about. That is a new direction for where we want to take advocacy and to support the work that others have been doing over the years. So that is my last active gift, if you will. I will remain with the organization to assist, but it will be in the background. And there are some key projects that I would like to focus on, but I believe there are many of you all in this room, young people especially, who can come forward and take Pride into the next 5 years. So I really wanted to thank all of you all on behalf of the committee and the team and all of the lives that each of you has helped to save and the legacies that you have helped to maintain. I always say you may never know the life that you have saved, but trust me, through each of your efforts, somebody's life has been saved or touched in our community. And one day, that person will contribute to the rest of our history. So give yourselves a round of applause. Give the team of PrideTT for the last 5 years a round of applause. And I want to give a special round of applause to my partner, Kate Smith. Who continues to run behind me to every event and has been my backbone through this entire process as well. And thank you very much to all of you. So all the best. Happy Pride 2022. I would now like to ask you to, with a round of applause, to welcome my co-chair for this year and a director of PrideTT, Faye Ferdinandus. And Faye has a special message that I know people have been writing about and texting and wondering, oh, Faye, what's going on?
Welcome. Thank you, everybody. Good night. For those who don't know me, I'm Faye Ferdinandus. I have been doing activist work for the last 3 decades. I was part of Lambda Community of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the first organization, gay organization that we had back in the early 90s. Yes, Cyrus, you would be one of those persons who were around then. Yes, Jimmy. And then, of course, one of our colleagues and allies this morning talked about the Gay Enhancement Advocates of Trinidad and Tobago, GET, which was another registered NGO. And we submitted our opinion on the Equal Opportunities Act. And of course, nobody paid us any attention because sexual orientation is excluded via that act. But we continue to do the work. But I'm here tonight to talk about one of the programs that PrideTT has done over the last 4 years and will continue to do this particular year. And that is our Gen Gap program. Generation Gap was an idea by Rudy, where we would get together elders such as myself and some of us out there, along with the youth. Jaron, you were there at one of our first meetings in Maraval, where we put together young folks and older heads to talk about what it was like to be LGBTQ back then as a youth, and for the youth to talk to the elders and ask questions. In other words, how can they bring together, or how can they put forward the dream that they have of what their life can be like, and see what is possible by viewing the elders. So I'll talk about the program as it is because it has developed. So instead of just a discussion event during the Pride Month, we actually developed the program into a 10-month mentorship program, mentorship and wellness. Because we all know that homophobia results in trauma, which results in mental health issues. And we here in Trinidad and Tobago, in a society that is not set up for us and does not pay us much attention, as actually very aggressive to persons who don't fit the model of what people think we should be. It results in a lot of violence from the same people that's supposed to love us, which are our family members, and of course the rest of community. So in an investment to try to develop our youth and to create future change influencers and to help support, and as Rudy talked about, bring up the young ones to help the organizations and for them also to create their own spaces. For instance, we have participants in the community, in our audience right now, who's part of the program, who started their own little organization, Trans and Non-Binary TT. And we have other little fledgling organizations that are coming up. And this program, as I said, is a 10-month program where we go through different modules. So we talk about entrepreneurship, financial, personal development, HR, self-identity, empowerment, decision-making, time management, and so forth. So it's been a really in-depth program and a very rigorous run. And it's a learning process for us too, because we've imagined it one way, but as we go through it, we realize things have to change. COVID didn't help us at all. It did not. The fatigue that Zoom meetings, the lack of having that face-to-face where we don't have family and community, getting people together, it's very important for the LGBT community because you find a sense of yourself, you know, a sense of collaboration, the network that we build by when we come together as we are right now. Now, it's been great, but we've learned things from it, and we will continue it, but we need the support of everyone to have it done. We've had the support this year from Scotiabank, and they have been a great corporate citizen. They have walked their talk, and you would have heard, if some of you all did not, late last year, apart from their policy, they included benefits in their insurance program for same-sex partners and their employees. They have their ER groups, the employee groups, which build to support each other. They sit and they talk and they develop, they look at issues within the organization. So we couldn't have done this without Scotiabank. And this is what a lot of this morning was about, where we had other corporate sponsors come in and look at how to create diversity and equality, inclusive policy within their workplace. And this is the work that we're doing. Now, mental health is so much of an issue within our community. We know we've lost people, our friends, by their own hands. And we also know we lose them through things like drug abuse or risky behaviors, which then create other medical risk. So mental health was a huge aspect of this program. So we had mental health practitioners who assessed every one of the participants. And if they needed further help, we found the resources for it. But this program, we think, We want to develop the mental health even more, but we want to continue the program. And it takes a lot, but we're very, very proud of the program. And it's for youth, 17 to 25, so those just out of school. We know the legal age here is 18, so we had to try to seek, if anybody was less than 18, their parents' consent to this program. We also wanted to have media coverage on the program a lot more than we did, but we couldn't. And why? Because just like when we were young, we were afraid if we showed our faces or we came out and said who we are, that we would face so much backlash. We could lose whatever little we had, not to mention in 2018, when we were in front of the Town Hall of Justice and people's faces was in the newspaper, how many lost their homes, were thrown out of their homes. And we are yet to have a shelter for LGBT persons, and that those shelters that exist for persons who have no housing will not take an LGBT person. So mental health is very, very important to us. What we hope to do is raise enough funds to continue this program in the vision that Rudy had for it and in the vision of what the participants have for it, because somehow there's a bit of a break in what they would like to see and what we would like to see. So we have to get it together. But how can you put a cost on wellness? How can you put a cost on developing the future change influencers? What cost is that? Because for me, having my friend, an icon, not able to get medical health and pass away the next day because they were denied medical health, or for me to sit home and get a phone call from somebody stating, I need help. I went to the place where I was supposed to get my HIV drugs, but they turned me away because they don't want these kind of people here, because that's what they face. That's what these programs are about, trying to develop and increase and empower our youth, as well as us older heads too, because sometimes we need a little wake-up call because we live in our safety and security and we have a life, so we're not going to, but I'm not talking about y'all here, because all of y'all have come out to support it, so we know that we have your backs and you know that you're visible. But for all the others who still feel unsafe, Pride is about visibility. It's about giving a voice to each one of us. It's about telling the world that we're okay and we are your next door neighbors. We are your doctors, your lawyers, your friends, your co-worker, you know, the person next to you just riding in that bus from wherever to get to work. So let's enjoy Pride 2022. It's been 2 years since we've been able to meet face to face and hug and see each other and palance and everything else. Get your costumes ready. Get your outfits ready. Hit the gym if we need, because we had a march a long distance. And I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you so much for giving me the time. And now I need to introduce Yannick, who will take you through another part of our event. Yannick recently joined PrideTT's, and we are so happy and so proud to have his skills and talent and his hard-working ethics with us. He's just one of them that makes PrideTT's so successful. Thank you.
You're going to stay with me, though.
Yeah, but I need, they're putting it up?
Yeah, they'll put it up.
Go ahead.
Hi, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces as well as a lot of new ones to celebrate the 5th programming of Pride in recognition of International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. It is with great pleasure I will be announcing this year's theme. As some of you may know, we tend to do very witty themes. So in 2019, we've had equal, emphasis on all, showing our commitment to inclusivity. Last year, we had power as the theme, highlighting women in our community and the issues that they may face. So this year, our theme, reflecting a lot of what is happening in society, the theme is rejuvenation with emphasis on nation. This is a two-pronged theme. The first being that it's not only the 5th anniversary of PrideTT's programming, but it's also the 60th anniversary of our country. And so what we wanted to highlight was not only pride in ourselves and pride in our community, but also pride in our nation. This is a country that even though we may face some issues or some struggles, we are still proud to be part of. And that even though Pride TT as an organization is only 5 years old, that we as queer persons have been here as long as the country has been here, and that we have contributed just as much as other persons.
And what he did not mention is the rejuvenation partnerships, not only for the country as we're coming out of COVID, but it's also rejuvenation for Pride TT, the organization itself. Rudy said to you that he is leaving. He has publicly stated at the last Pride that he's going to take a backseat because we are very interested in making sure young persons come up and take the mantle and start to run with it. So Pride TT is also in a transition, rejuvenating, right? Others have left us. You would have heard too that we had, her name has slipped me. Zoe, yes. Also known, for those who may not be aware, Miss Janae, former Miss Janae. Right. She had left Pride TT to go and continue her studies and get more skills and knowledge, probably if she does come back, to assist the organization. So there are vacancies. We are rejuvenating also. So if you are willing, if you are interested and you want to, please contact us. Get involved.
Thank you, Faye. And with that, we will also be announcing the 5th anniversary programming.
Yes. So we are, while we wait for it to come up, one of the things Pride has always been proud of, what has always been part of our events, our marquee events, and as Rudy loves to describe them as the book ends, right? Which would be, and we open with our Parliament demonstration. We're gonna shake it up a little bit this year, because I think we need a shake up. We have local elections that are due at the end of December this year. And then 2 years after, we have general elections. Let's kick some butt with the parliamentarians and get them to change some legislation. We also have in February coming the announcement of the appeal of Jason Jones' case. So these are things we need to be prepared for. So the demonstration of Parliament on June the 24th is very, very important. Make sure clear your calendar, come down and support. We in front of Parliament, as we usually do, placards, whatever, we will be there. And then we have our flag raising. This is also another marquee event. We fly the pride flags, the trans flags, the bi flags, the lesbian flags. At different locations in Trinidad, we may be doing it a bit different. The last time we did some guerrilla warfare kind of thing. We had some banners hung up on the highway. They didn't last for very long because I guess people decided to take them down. But we painted and had some pictures of those things. Those are the kind of things that we do. It's about raising visibility. And our concert, it was so beautiful in 2019. And I believe Josh Ryan, who is not with us today because he has some work commitments and he's out of the country. Josh is very much a part of this. The concert was his thing. This is where we showcase the talent that only the LGBT community has. And John? Yeah. And then Pride Memorial. Pride Memorial, and Cyrus would attest to this, is an event that has been part of Pride celebrations for decades. This is where we pay tribute to our friends that have passed in whatever way. However, this is not PrideTT's events. These events have been carried on by others and other allies and groups that we collaborate with. And Pride Memorial will be done by Friends for Life this year. So it is carded for June the 26th, and we hope that COVID and nothing else changes these dates. But at this present point in time, these are the dates for stuff. I talked about generation gap, and this year, Rudy is leading this generation gap because we're changing, as we say, we're rejuvenating. So we've changed the design of it slightly for this year. Partner event there means that we have slotted that date for a group that is yet to confirm, okay? And Pride Film Festival. Here we are collaborating with a few of the embassies to put together some film for us. Film on the topics that are important to us. Sorry? And UE film.
Okay, so I'm going to present this part of the calendar. I won't run through all of the events, but as Faye mentioned, just kind of like the staple events that we're having. Some of you may notice that the calendar is a little pared down this year. I think that this is in keeping. Don't be surprised.
You all
I
know
think-
Rudy want 50 plus events like it was before.
Yes, you
But
may
we
be,
got dead. Oh, you want the dead.
you may be used to having one event every night, but this year, in keeping with rejuvenation and in re-entering the realm of physical events, we've decided to pare down the calendar and put on quality programs to focus on attendance and, as Faye mentioned, the talent of our community. So in week 3, one of the staple events is the health fair. We're partnering with FPAT. This will include free testing services on July 9th. And week 4, Rudy's favorite hunty hike. Rudy is a very avid hiker and leads a group of us on various hiking trails, led by, I believe, queer guides. Yes? We also have other partner events like the UniPride Lime, like IERE 4, which is an art exhibit, which will be held at the W Gallery in Chagonas, which will be a week-long event. We have a singles mixer carded for the singles in our community who may want to get off of digital apps and meet in person.
I have one question. It said 12 p.m., but you know, our community, we don't come out before dark.
And we also have a theater show production, which will be in collaboration with Femcom.
And we're coming to what we all want to hear about, is if we having a pride parade, right? So yes, but before that, we're going to have a sports day, and that's going to be in collaboration with Events for Us in that group. Some of you may or may not know it. It's led by Shondell George. Outspoken, again, this is some of our talent, so poetry and all other things, reading of theater material, that type of thing. Diva is going to be changed a little bit. It's going to be something of a teaser kind of thing, not the full thing that we've been used to, but you know, it is a marquee event for us, but it's going to be done a little bit different. And of course, the Pride Fair, providing the COVID protocols allow, we will have a Pride Fair, but it's a little bit, we're working on it, but we're not sure. And South Trinidad, there are South groups that exist, like the South Trinidad LGBTQIA and South Pride and Allies. They are having some Pride events on their own, and they are also going to join us with the parade, which is Sunday, the big thing. I keep asking for a truck for us to be on it, but I ain't too sure I'll get in it. Because you see people, old people like me, who have knee problems and think can't walk the whole distance sometimes. So we want to ride in a truck. Rudy, you hear me, right? Definitely. A big person, a big truck. Right. So here we are. That's our calendar for this year. It's going to be a blast, as every year has been. And this year, after 2 years of missing it, oh geez, I can't wait for it. Thank you, Yannick. It's so good to work with you.
Thank you, Faye. So I know that Faye spoke a little bit earlier about the partnership we had with Scotiabank, Gen Gap, and in presenting our fifth year theme and our calendar of events, we also would like to acknowledge the partnership we've had with the Hyatt. They have been so gracious enough to lend us the space for the day. As Rudy mentioned, we had a DEI conference earlier today, and to lend us the use of this room for this media launch. So I would like to welcome the General Manager for the Hyatt Regency Trinidad. Oh, I guess not.
I am not the general manager. Richard had another engagement, unfortunately, that came up, but he wanted us to know that Hyatt is, of course, committed to PrideTT and was happy to host us this morning. And he and the exec team, as we know, they are fully behind High Pride, which is Hyatt's global LGBTQ network. And this year, the employees at this Hyatt are launching the first ever Caribbean chapter of High Pride. So again, another first for PrideTT and LGBTQ community. So thanks on behalf of us to Richard, and he says thank you for choosing Hyatt.
Remember to keep up to date on what's happening, because this is still somewhat fluid. Go to our social media pages. We're on Facebook and we have our own website. That's PrideTT.com. Right, you'd see events listed, and we've kind of reworked our website, but we're still working on it. Some of his handiwork people. But PrideTT is a team. It's not just one person. We work together. We bounce heads. We like our family, and with family, all sorts of things happen. But always at the top of our mind is the work, and more than that is the community. That means each and every one of you all in this room and all the others outside. That's who we do what we do for. That's who we put ourselves through the pain for. Without you all, nothing is possible. Thank you so much for your support. We can't do it without you all. And at this moment, we'll hand over to Rudy. Yeah, we're going to use you as much as we can. Yeah, I use that word deliberately. We're going to get everything out of you before you leave us and move on.
Thank you.
Well, if you know me very well enough, I wouldn't be going too far. I think the last thing I would want to say is that, as Faye intimated, through the storming and the norming, we've refined exactly what PrideTT's role is as an organization. And it's really what the name suggests. PrideTT is going to be focused specifically on the Pride celebrations of Trinidad and Tobago. And over the years, because there are needs that have arisen and gaps that exist, the organization has tried to fill these, but the road to hell is sometimes paved with good intentions. I can't repeat that for the young viewers out on the World Wide Web. But what that has allowed us to do is to clarify that there needs to be another arm of this umbrella group. And I'm happy to say that we are going to reignite an idea that was created 4 years ago as well, called Queer TT. And Queer TT's role and function will actually be to host events and activities outside of the Pride Month period. It will also be focused on developing capacity and business models that will support Pride. So Pride will actually be invested in by this broader company, if you will. And over the years, we have asked some of you to submit your registrations to be part of our database. For example, our Queer Artists, the Irie Art Festival, was the first of its kind. The reason we were creating these databases was to develop community, and Queer TT is going to leverage the communities that we have built to generate revenue and sustainability. So whether you own a small company, you're an attorney at law, you're a dancer, you enjoy decorating, whatever your skills and competencies are, photography, etc., Queer TT is going to call upon you during the rest of the year, and we're going to create media and productions and other avenues for that expression, and that will allow a different take on how the community gets involved in activities, so that Pride TT as an organization can really focus on what it should do best and deliver for all of you all the greatest Pride experience. So you don't have to travel to New York anymore. You could stay right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And that was always the vision, that this Pride would become a tourist calendar event where our diaspora, our people who have had to leave Trinidad and Tobago to experience gay culture, would actually come back home, and it would become one of those festivals on the Trinidad and Tobago Festivals calendar. So there's a lot that is going to be happening, as I said, that some of us will be focusing on. But please come forward, continue to support. And to close tonight off, I have the pleasure of introducing someone. I'm going to leave the stage because she needs the entire stage for herself. The reigning Miss South Trans LGBTQ, and of course our favorite Miss Queen of Queens, who will be performing for us tonight. I think all of you all know that Sapphire has been a bastion of the community. You have represented for us. You showed up at the last Pride parade without fear and with your bravery in tow. So we're happy, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary folk, please welcome Sapphire to the stage.
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream with me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand, will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, never. steal from the night sky will never be enough. Never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough. Never be enough. For me, for me, never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never, never enough. For me, for me, for me. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the peace in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. That's what we do. Won't let them break me down. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, we're going on. The sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apology. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. This is me.
Sophia, Adia, and Gasi. This is me, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folk. Join us for cocktails and happy Pride 2022.